Okay, this video is about a Frigidaire Professional upright freezer. I have a full-size refrigerator, the full-size freezer. It's Frigidaire Professional. It's made by Electrolux. But my problem was that the compressor wasn't running all the time. It would run sporadically. Hence, it would not keep the ice frozen, so it wasn't obviously getting down to, I think I have it set at 0 degrees, and it wasn't, getting down to the temperature that it was supposed to. It was cold inside, but not cold enough to keep the ice frozen. So I'm going to show y'all what I did to actually end up repairing this, and what you might want to test on yours if you're getting the same symptoms that I was getting. Again, the fan on the inside is running, but the compressor would stay on for a little bit and then turn off and just wouldn't continue running like it's supposed to in order to keep the freezer cold. So check out this video and maybe it'll help you out. Okay, so again, I have an upright freezer. It's a Frigidaire Professional. It's made by Electrolux, and it's full size. And the fan inside the freezer was blowing, but the compressor fan that blows across the coils underneath the freezer was not spinning, and the compressor would run and not run for a little bit, and so the fan in the inside was keeping it cold along with all the cold food, but the ice was starting to melt. So anyway, so I went down underneath it, and this part right here, you can see it has 3 pins. It plugs straight onto the 3 pins on the side of the compressor, and this is the start relay. And they say that you can shake it, and if you hear a rattling noise, that it's bad, but there's different styles of these. Some will do that and some won't. Anyway, you can take your multimeter also, and we'll turn it on and turn it to ohms, which is the little upside down U. And in the bottom 2 holes, if I do this one-handed here, you can put it in, and you can hear, and I'm measuring 8.1. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be, but I'm getting continuity. So this part's still good. My problem was the capacitor. If I kind of zoom in here, this is the old capacitor, and it says 15, it's microfarads, minus 5% or plus 10. Well, so we'll turn this over, and we're going to go to microfarads on the meter. So we'll just select, and where mine says, if you can see it says NF in there. I don't know if it helps if I turn the light on or not. That'll make it better. Okay, see where it says NF. So that's microfarads. So anyway, so this should read 15 microfarads minus 5% or plus plus 10. So let's see if I can do this one-handed here. Kind of a pain. All right, so I read 13.78, which if you calculate, that's actually like 3% or so, roughly below the minus 5% of the 15 microfarads that it says is supposed to be good. So this capacitor that attaches to the start relay, it is bad. So switch over to the new one, which has the same rating. Now, See, the new one reads 15.06 microfarads. So this one is good. The new one's good. The old one was out of specs and is bad. And that's what helps kick on that start relay. So I'm going to install the new capacitor, and we'll see if we can get the freezer working again. Okay, and just to show you how the capacitor attaches to the start relay, and you'll see this when you get under yours, if you're watching this video, because you probably have some similar type problem. But the start relay has two little slots right here. Well, that's where these prongs for the capacitor go. And then it has this pin right here, which that's where that little round slot slides over. So as you put the little contacts down in those slots, then this comes over and slides down over that pin, and you just lock it into place. So you'll see when you get down and look at your compressor, you know, you'll have a setup just like this. And again, that's where those three openings go for the pins that are on the compressor, and it just snaps onto the compressor. And then there's a little, on mine, there's a little wire on the bracket that comes around here that holds this from sliding back out. And then your from your control board, computer board, there's a wire that comes down and plugs on to these contacts. And that wire has, your full power has 120 volts. And so you also need to test, you know, if this isn't bad and this isn't bad, you know, you need to make sure you're getting, and you have to be careful. I do this with everything unplugged, obviously, but you can plug in your freezer, and on the wire that comes down and plugs into this, you can put your voltmeter and just set it on AC volts, and you should get 120 volts coming into this connection, you know, or you know, from that wire. So you can test that wire, make sure your computer board's good, that you're getting the power from there. So all right, let me get to the installing part. Okay, so I've plugged it back onto the compressor. You'll see all this when you get to yours, if yours is similar. So here's that wire, and it's a pain. It hooks right here, and it's got a bent tab on the back side that hooks here. Well, on the opposite side, on the bracket, is identical. And so this is what's going to hold the capacitor, you know, onto the start relay. And again, the start relay just plugs right here onto the side of the compressor. You'll see the 3 pins. So to take it off, you have to take this wire right here and pry it off and over the top of the little nipple on the start relay. And then you'll be able to unhook it from here. You can't, I say you can't, you might could pull it here and unhook it, but I think when I took it off, I pried it over the top. But anyway, it's kind of a pain to get back on and all, but once you do, I just stuck a screwdriver. I got it popped over the nipple here, and then took a screwdriver and forced it over the back side right there. But anyway, so here's the start relay that's plugged on to the compressor. And then the capacitor obviously is plugged onto the start relay. And then this is the power wire that snaps into that on the side. And this is the wire I was talking about that from the control board should, you know, if you just plug in your freezer and test the wire itself, you know, you should get 120 volts. So now I'm going to plug it in, and over here is the fan. And I watched some YouTube videos, and they were talking about, well, your fan, you know, the fan could be bad, and how to test it, and you know, it plugs together right there. Well, I tested it, and it, you know, showed based on the videos I saw that it was bad. And so I took the fan blade, you can just push it. You put your fingers up in here on each side of the blade. You can just push the blade off. Anyway, so then I took these 3 screws on here, took those off, And then the motor is actually, you know, just this piece up inside here, right here. And when you take these 3 screws off, the motor just pulls right out, and you just unplug it. Well, I put a wire, you know, a plug wire, and you know, into the connections for the fan motor, and plugged it into the wall, and the fan spun. So again, my problem wasn't the fan, and again, my problem, I think, is the capacitor. So I'm going to plug it in and see if it works. Okay, so I plugged it in, and the compressor came on and continued to run like it's supposed to. So that was the problem, was the start run capacitor that attaches to the start relay. So before you go and replacing computer boards and all that stuff, check your start relay and check your run capacitor. Again, this is a full-size Frigidaire freezer. It's a Frigidaire Professional. I also have, you know, a matching full-size refrigerator. But that was what the problem was. Again, the freezer was, the inside fan was blowing, but the compressor was not staying on long enough to keep it cold enough to keep the ice frozen. And the temperatures inside the freezer, you know, were getting just right above freezing. So the compressor would run, but not stay on like it's supposed to, because that's what that run capacitor helps, again, keep the compressor running. So again, check that before you start tearing your freezer or refrigerator apart. And I hope this helps. If it does, click like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.